It is Monday, September 27th, and we're a little late, but it's okay. We are so excited to dive into this next episode of the challenge, Spies, Lies, and Allies on Jury Duty. What was a Big Brother podcast? All right,
we're still a Big Brother podcast for 2 more days, right?
For 2 more days, but we're so excited to talk about the challenge because there's a lot to unpack on this one. I don't know where to start. We lost Fessy.
Yeah,
we lost Fessy. You saw on the socials. I've been saying it was a mush. Was a mush, and Amanda agrees. Okay, but TJ does not. Okay, we don't do violence in this house. He says absolutely not. Fessy gone, y'all. So that left Esther by herself. So sad, and I ultimately led to her demise, which is really, really upsetting to me. However, can I please just note that this might have been different had Esther known that she was not high enough on that cage, okay? Because Hall Brawl, okay, and I know I've said this before, we've discussed this with Gina before, Hall Brawl is an iconic challenge elimination.
I saw it on there and I was like, I know about this one.
Yes, it was Hall Brawl, but except this time we changed it to Raids Cage. And oh my goodness, now we gotta crawl up the thing, gotta ring the bell. Everything's very different. We used to just have to just run to the bell at the end of the hall.
Yeah.
And just on like a
now we gotta
stand
crawl
or
this
something.
thing.
It was like a post that would have like a bell hanging from it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it would be like 10 feet away from the hall that you were brawling through. Like this
maybe
was
15,
like
maybe 15.
Yeah, like this bell was actually attached to the hall itself. You know, like just a little bit higher up. So that it was definitely interesting. And they had all those ropes on the ground they had to fight through. Did you see that?
Right. You had to kind of navigate through all those things too. Yeah. And like, oh my gosh. I can't help but think like had Esther just gone like another notch forward and rung that bell and force it. Exactly. And force it into this like one-on-one, like head-on thing. Esther might have won that one.
No.
Esther might have won. So, like, let's not discount her. Okay, let's not discount her. But there was a lot that happened before that.
Of course.
So much happened before that. And, like, Pizzagate, what do we think about that? Like, so many fights in the challenge house has begun over pizza. And this was no exception. Okay, so, I don't know. Tori and Corey had a lot to do with this whole thing. They had a lot to do with this.
Yeah. They definitely had a lot to do with it. Even though it seemed like Berna was like, Amber B started all of this.
Well, yeah, watching that, I was like, I probably would have benefited from watching the previous episode again because, like, did she? Like, am I just remembering it wrong? Was this actually, like, her? And then, like, a lot of people were saying, like, it's stupid that Josh stayed and Fessy didn't because it's Josh's fault. And I was like, I don't know about that, though.
I don't think it was Josh's fault. This whole thing, no.
Yeah, I don't think it was either. Because you see him, he was definitely. You could see it on his face when Corey is dragging him in, saying, "Let's add this guy to the equation." And you can, and they froze the screen at one point in this last episode. Like Josh's face, you could see he definitely he's got a drink in his hand. He's like his eyes are half open. Like he looks very like he was just dragged into this. Like this was not Josh's fault at all. And like,
No.
I think Amber B probably would have gotten upset because obviously somebody ate her pizza. But like Tori like was specifically standing there pointing at Fessy like, he ate your pizza, he ate your pizza, which meanwhile he was denying that he even did. So like that none of that would have blown up the way it had without Corey and Tori like just sort of egging the whole thing on.
And Corey brought Josh into it, knowing full well what he was doing, because
Right, and then
we all know
afterwards
that
was like,
Josh
"I
is a
can't
hothead.
believe-" Yeah, they were like, he can, keep his emotions in check. Like, this was over pizza. How stupid. And it's like, well, he wasn't even supposed to be there. Like,
No,
you're the reason
no.
he was there.
Yeah, you guys brought him into it. You guys brought him into this. You guys wanted this, and you got exactly what you wanted. And let's not act like that's not what it was. Okay. But there was a lot of truth that kind of came out of Fessy as a result of this situation that I actually did appreciate, because I've always viewed Fessy as a very messy player, which is exactly how production and everybody else wants us to feel about him, like messy Fessy. That's been a thing for years. Especially the second he entered into the challenge world,
right?
It was messy Fessy. That's what we said from the beginning. However, listening to his explanation as far as why he did what he did, there was a part of me that kind of understood the motivation behind it. I'm not the biggest Amber B fan, but I also don't necessarily think that she deserves some of the hate that comes by her. But she did win last season, and she definitely does have reason to have a sideways feeling about Fessy. So when he sat down and had the conversation with Josh about like, oh, I don't have the social game that you have. I'm a little bit concerned. X, Y, and Z. Like, part of me said, okay, like, I sort of understand this, because like she did win. And like, are you not gonna swing when you have a moment to do so? I don't know. I was so team Josh on the last time, because I was like, okay, I understand the politics of a game like this, right? You got the Veterans Alliance, and we know that they're very, very strong. They've been operating very efficiently within the confines of this game. But the Big Brother Alliance is smaller. You have to think about what the end game looks like. We have to make sure that we all get there, right? So it would be wise to operate within the construct of that. However, sending, or attempting anyway, to send Amber B home that early seems a little preemptive. But then when he sat down and had the conversation, like, listen, you have a much stronger social game than I have. This is why I made the move that I made. Even as I'm saying that, I'm already feeling like contradictions. I already know how I can be contradicted. But I want to start there. Like, let's leave it there. What do you think?
Well, so I've just been thinking that so obviously I disagree with Fessy trying to go after Amber B, but she ended up staying. But it's funny when you look at it, because we talk about the Vet Alliance, how they're supposed to be looking out for each other and protecting each other, and like we were just kind of talking about with Corey and Tori being the ones that escalated this thing, their actions actually helped to cause a vet actually leave the house. You know what I mean? Like in a way, their actions hurt the Vet Alliance more than Fessy even taking his shot at Amber B, if you think about it in a certain way. So that's why, like, as you were kind of explaining how you were feeling, I was kind of like agreeing with you and seeing it from that point of view, like I was just saying. I don't know. The whole thing is definitely very interesting, because like why are you trying to cause two people to fight? Like, everybody's drunk. Like, don't drag people into a room in this Vet Alliance where like the vets have dominated. We've seen only 2 vets leave, right? And one of them is because it was Anissa, she was injured, and now Fessy because he got into a fight. Like, they have dominated this game, and like at the end of the day, like all you did was hurt yourself. Like, it's the first time that one of your players leaving the house, and it's not even for an elimination. Like,
and also like correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was Huey that was saying it. Somebody in their little like thing was saying you know, like what we're watching right now is like they've been coming after the rookies, but like the vets are imploding and like more and more people keep getting involved in this fight. And I'm just sitting here like, no, fight more. Like keep doing this, because when you're focusing on how much you can't stand each other, like some of us might be able to slip through the cracks a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Which is a very big brother way to approach this whole thing, which is why this season is so interesting, you know, because we've never had such an influx of rookies from games that are similar.
Yeah.
You know, it's such an interesting time for this challenge, you know, because I have not been a big fan of Emmy. Okay, but
I've been flip-flopping a lot on her.
Right. I want to say tonight. It wasn't tonight, but Wednesday night's episode, I don't know, kind of made me a little bit more of a fan of her because I feel like she understands the politics of what's going on here. I was not here for her little singing of Alien. I don't care about any of that. Like, I don't like any of that. I stand behind all of that. However, which sounds so crazy to say, but like the signature of her name in the hot sauce holds so much more weight than her singing her fucking song. Like, I don't care about any of that, but I do care that she signed her name in hot sauce on a cutting board. Like,
Yeah.
that means so much more to me because I feel like you understand the politics of what's going on here. So now, like, what has she done? She's aligned herself with CT, who, spoiler alert, it's your fault if you haven't watched at this point. Emmy stole CT from Berna, which I think was a fantastic move.
Yeah.
Berna
Okay.
might have some other opinions on it, but
I'm sure Berna would too, but like, what do we think about that too? Because I think that's a very interesting thing to dive into. You know, Berna really, really felt so good about her relationship with Emmy. Meanwhile, Emmy was like, she's not my friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm taking Uncle CT. Like, what was that? Like, I don't, as a viewer, being new to Berna and being new to Emmy, I didn't really know what to think of that.
Yeah.
Like, I was just taking everything y'all said at face value. And if you're gonna tell me that it's not that important, and Emmy is like, "Yo, fuck Berna," like I don't know what to do. What did you think of that?
I thought it was funny too. I was like, literally, Berna like thinking that you're friends, and Emmy was just being like, "We're not friends. I don't care. Like, what are you talking about?" Like, and
I couldn't give a shit less what happens to you.
Yeah, like, and it was funny though. Berna kind of like hinting at she knew. She was like, did he know that she was going to go down and get a new partner and she was going to steal him from me and blah, blah, blah. Like she and you could see she is like, I'm coming for you. Like we got a few people in this episode tonight saying I'm coming for you to different players. A lot of tempers are very high.
Yeah. Like honestly, like what made this so interesting for me is the fact that like Emmy and Berna, unless I read this wrong, aren't they from the same like
that's what I was gonna ask. I can't
version
remember.
of Survivor? Like I thought that said like Survivor Romania, right? Didn't
I was
it?
I couldn't remember if they like knew each other outside of this or not.
Oh my goodness. We gotta check the Wikipedia. I want to know. Well, hold on, but don't wait, hold on. Wait. No. John, don't. John, don't. Because what if we decide to watch that Survivor that she was on? Don't look. Stop. You were still looking. Put your phone down.
I mean, we can look to see if they were both on the same season.
Hit X. You're still looking. He's still looking. Gina, stop him. What are we watching on the side?
Why does John ever listen to me?
What are we watching on the side? Oh my gosh. No.
All we need to know is whether or not they were on the same season. We don't need to know spoilers.
Right, but what if we don't know that Emmy won? What if we don't know that Berna won? The second you Wikipedia something like that, bang, the winner is right there. I just don't want you to look. I don't want you to look. Too late. He already looked. All right, well, there's that. So I definitely thought the politics of that situation was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
No.
So now Berna is with Huey.
They're not on the same season?
No. Emmy was Survivor Romania 1. Berna was Survivor Turkey 8, 9, and 12.
Whoa.
Whoa! Wait. Oh, all right. So Berna, so not even the same country. All right. So sorry if we offended anyone. We don't know where people come from, right?
I barely know everyone's name. On
We're
this season.
American. We don't know where people come from. We just love everyone who
I feel
comes to
like-
be on our show because we love the challenge. I'm so sorry, but like.
I feel
So
like Berna's
8,
from
9, and
Germany.
12. So she's been around the block. So she
3
knows
seasons,
politics. Okay, let me tell you something. That makes me stand Berna even more than I did before.
I think she's from Germany, by the way.
She's from Germany.
Yeah.
Okay. The only other note that I really, really wanted to make that was very important to me to make sure that I made is the fact that, like, can we just make sure we're not dogging CT for this whole thing? Because I definitely stand Berna. Like, the way that she handled herself in that elimination challenge, I thought was, like, top notch. Like, she was on top of her shit. Like, she fucking banged her face and, like, she was still in it. Like, made sure she stayed in the game. Like, that was really, really impressive. However, the way that she's playing her game at this moment, it does not surprise me that CT does not want to play the game with her. You know, because CT plays a very quiet, I don't want to say sneaky, but like quiet and silent game. He doesn't like to make a lot of waves. He doesn't want to do anything. He just wants to coast his way to the final. But I don't want coast to sound in the same vein as like Rachel Riley. He is not a floater. He's not one that does not put up when he needs to. You will always put respect on CT's name because CT is CT. It does not matter how long he's been in the game. It doesn't matter how violent he's been in the past. Like, CT is a formidable component of the challenge, just to keep with my club. He's not really somebody you would go up against. It's exactly why Emmy wanted him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you were saying about CT, like not being a floater or being someone that coasts, he's just like a smart player, and that's why he's able to be quiet. Like, he's able to be quiet because like he makes smart moves, and he might be involved in like a big move, like if someone's getting blindsided or something, but he's never leading the charge. He might vote in favor of that side of the house, something like that, you know. But like,
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
he is always behind every single big move, but he's never the one leading the charge, which is where I feel like CT's politics always like fall by the wayside. Like, nobody talks about like all that stuff. Everybody talks about how intimidating CT is and how he's a comp beast and he's all these other things, which is all true. But his social game, you can't deny what he contributes to this game socially.
Yeah.
He's always a silent partner in the largest things that happen in the challenge.
Yeah.
You just don't hear his name talked about so much because he's so good at the politics and everybody's so scared of him that nobody's going to go against whatever CT says, which is exactly why Emmy refers to him as Uncle CT. Because like, he's not the person that you want to like fuck with. Like, yeah.
He really is. He's just such a legend. A legend.
He is. I'm so happy that CT is a part of Gina's first season, like with the challenge, because CT is so. Oh my goodness. I hope that we get to do like a bonus thing and you get to see what Johnny Bananas is. And I want you to see what a season with Johnny Bananas and CT. And honestly, we cannot. Oh, I really don't want to go on a tangent, but we cannot talk about CT. We cannot talk about Johnny Bananas without talking about Wes.
I know.
Right. And that's a whole different conversation. We can get into that later, where we have to introduce Gina slow. Slow.
Ease me in.
I know, we want to ease you in because Wes has been tweeting like crazy about this season. And like,
wow.
Oh my gosh. Wes, for those that don't know, for everything that CT is physically, and I know that Gina, you don't understand what he is because like he's old and like he's not really doing a lot right now. This is the beginning of a challenge season. The challenge doesn't work the same as BB in that like the challenge lights up at the end where BB's that flame sort of dies and it's like it becomes so predictable. That is not the case with the challenge because like it just gets so crazy because that's when the politics come into mind. That's when like the competitiveness, like the physical competition really comes into play. Like the whole game changes when you get to the end game where the BB version of this slows down and sort of becomes a snooze fest. We can kind of predict how things are going to go. With the challenge, you really don't. Right. And that, I gotta say, that is actually what makes me more excited about the fact that Fessy is gone. Because Fessy, while he's new school challenge, he really has been a fixture in every single final. So to see a final without Fessy, knowing that that's what I have to look forward to makes me even more excited for this final.
Yeah.
And
I think, obviously, like we've said a million times, the vets have been protecting the vets, but there's not a single one of those guys that in the back of their mind, every one of them is going, I don't have to worry about going into elimination against Fessy. I don't have to worry about Fessy in a final. Every single one of them is breathing a sigh of relief because Fessy is, as much as I really don't like him, he is such a strong competitor.
Right, especially Nelson, because that's how he went out last year with that whole brawl. So the second that Nelson saw that whole brawl, which wasn't even whole brawl, was Rage Cage, which was brand new to us. But Nelson was like, "Woo! Thank God." I'm still.
Is that like a once a season thing?
What's that?
Is that like a once a season thing? Like we're not going to see another thing like that, or?
I feel like they'll at some point they'll pull it out when there's some guys involved in the elimination. You got to see some of those guys battling out too in the hall brawl.
Yeah, I can't say stats for sure. I feel like later on in the game, if you get a situation where like the two females are injured and it's not going to be that, it's going to be another male one, they will throw another hall brawl in because it's the men elimination. And that's where the challenge definitely does differ from Big Brother. Production makes no bones about the fact that we know what's going on here and we're going to pander to that. Yeah, the challenge is good for that. So who really knows? I would love to see, oh my gosh, my dream is to see Fessy and Nelson in a hall brawl. Obviously, we're not getting it this season because he was sent home on a mush, which it was a mush.
Every time you say a mush.
There was a side conversation between Gina and I who she was like, I didn't really think that mush was a thing. And it's
it was my roommate saw Kyle be like, it was a mush. And he was like, who said like that's not a thing? And I was like, no, it's not a thing. And then lo and behold, we get this tweet.
It's absolutely.
We get a tweet from MTV Amanda saying, that was a mush. I'm the mush queen. I'm like, yes, it's a
mush. Mush is 100% a thing. Mush.
What is this?
Of course it is. Of course mush is a thing. And like, he was mushed. I don't think that listen, I am not a Fessy fan by any means, but I don't think that he should have been sent home for that. That was a mush. I would not expect to be chastised if I mushed John. Yes, I was mad. Maybe that does warrant a side conversation to help me control my emotions. But if I mush him, I do not consider that an act of violence. Just at the same point, if John mushed me, that would just be a message to me that I have gone too far. And I need to be quiet. Like it's not a thing. A mush is not a thing. But I guess we can't say that anymore.
I don't know. Unless there's any concern that they feel that maybe other members of the cast, let's say, that are in the house, if they think that this could be a particularly rowdy cast where they might have some other issues down the line, like, hey, let's set the example now. You know what I mean? Like I wonder if that's like a thought process where it's like, all right, this cast has been a little wild so far.
Well, I mean,
somebody
he
just put their hands on them.
To, was it Esther? That he like gave a warning and was like, I know you're new around here, so you don't know how this works, but like this isn't gonna stand. Like I can see that for sure being a
factor. He said that to Esther?
Yeah.
I think so.
He did.
Okay.
He did. And it is true. I mean, he gave out 2 warnings, sent one person home. I guess maybe they just felt like it was a big enough deal that it was like, okay, let's just like set the precedent now. You know, so we can't now, if something happens again and it becomes a repeated thing, you know, we can't be like, nobody can say, oh, well, you let them stay, you have to let me stay or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. You had to set the precedent because what happens when the next person does that? You cannot keep allowing that kind of behavior, right?
Yeah.
I suppose it had to go. It just sucks because like I really liked Esther and I want to see her come back and I hope she does.
She had quite an exit too.
Yo, I loved Esther's exit, okay? I loved it. It gave us, oh my gosh, I loved it for so many different reasons. I loved it because we've never seen a rookie win a challenge final, right? I know Gina's brand new to this. John, you're semi-new. We don't see rookies win a challenge final because it always goes the way this has gone. We get the rookies out first, and then we figure out what the game is.
Yeah.
Amber B said, "Fuck all that. I'm gonna win this thing," and she did. It just makes her such an interesting target. It makes her at the bottom of the Big Brother alliance, which I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there. Should she be more towards the top, or is she too much of a threat to put at the top? That's what's so beautiful about this season. There's so much to go. In a Big Brother season, we would have already shaped up what the foundation of what the path is going forward is. That's not how the challenge works.
Yeah.
It changes all the time, especially with this season where we're not putting down an entire team. We're only nominating individual people. Oh my gosh. I mean, like this is, there's just countless ways for this to go. Countless.
I think Amber B is in big trouble. I mean,
she's in big trouble. Yeah. She's a huge target. She's a huge target.
Fessy's gone, but we kind of heard Casey hinting at like maybe I should just go after Amber again at one point, like and that was actually during a conversation with Berna, because Berna went to Casey like, I don't know why why Amber just gets off free. She didn't apologize and this and that. So you heard that, and then like Amber actually said in the episode too, like I don't think I can work with the Big Brother people. So it's like, what is she gonna do? I
was gonna say, like, other than Josh, I feel like I haven't heard anybody even remotely thinking about wanting to like work with her or keep her around. Like I feel like Josh has been the only person that's like, no, we have to work with her. But at this point, is he even still?
I don't know.
Has he wavered on that?
Right, and can we get into that for a moment? Like all right, listen. You all know that I am not the biggest Josh fan.
Yeah.
I just feel like every political game he plays is messy. And his political game is the only thing that he relies on because he has nothing else otherwise. He didn't have anything else in Big Brother. He has never had anything else in the challenge. The only thing he's ever had to rely on was his political game. And the way this season has gone, arguably, has not been in his favor. Yeah. However, I don't know. I don't necessarily disagree with the way that he's played this season. Especially now knowing that Fessy is gone. I don't know. Is Josh actually in a good position?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know.
I know.
He's with.
I just want to leave that there.
Well, he's with Ashley. He's with Ashley. They're partners. I don't know. I don't think he's in a bad position. I think like seeing how Devin and like Amber B interact will be interesting. Like, because she's got all this heat on her, and Devin is a vet player. Like, I wonder how he feels being her partner. But it's such a weird, like, we're getting to such a weird like time in the game too, because there's currently 3 vet teams. There's 1 rookie team, and then there's 7 rookie vet teams. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, I know there's some like maneuvering that can be done so that like you can kind of create another rookie team when next one leaves or whatever. But I mean, we're getting to a point where we're going to see which vets are going to take shots at which vets, you know, like who's going to come after Josh first. Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
And it's interesting because it all depends on how people actually get voted in. You know, is it your team going to be the house vote, or is it whoever's in power can select one person on a team to send down? You know, like, because I feel like Josh is probably in a good spot being Ashley's partner. I don't think Ashley's in any trouble. Like, I don't think that he would be sent down as the house vote with Ashley at any time soon.
Right. Oh. It's kind of a wild time. I don't know. Well, with that, we will be live at 11:15 on Wednesday. I guess that's it.
Yeah, that's
because we're not gonna watch the challenge. Since then, we will have no extra answers regarding BB23 until then. So
very excited.
I have nothing else to add.
Yeah,
I can't believe the finale is here of Big
It's
Brother,
so
and I can't and so that's when we'll be back for Wednesday.
It's gonna be the end. Does anyone have any final thoughts regarding BB23? Because we're gonna have Warren, we're gonna have Tommy. We're not gonna be able to get into all of those things. So
no,
this is it. Final thoughts.
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
I think we're good.
I think we covered everything.
All right, listen. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Share with a friend. This is Jury Duty, a Big Brother podcast. But obviously, we're covering Survivor. We're covering the challenge. At some point, we're going to talk about the circle. We haven't, but we're going to.
We intend to.
Yeah, check this space. We're coming back. But like Wednesday, we'll be here at 11:15 Eastern. I don't know what your time zone is. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna burden myself with that. So 11:15 our time. You figure out when we'll be here for you, and that's it. This is Jury Duty, Big Brother podcast, BB23s. Thank you so much for watching, and that's it. Thank you.